Okay, now I'm gonna tell you all about my extremely traumatic day. Are you guys excited? This will lessen the fear and anxiety that I'm about to accost you all with right now. That's so uncomfy. Well, anyways, so it all started this morning when I woke up to go see my trainer. I finally finished training. I had a great day. I'm so excited to go home and take a shower and then stream. And so when I was trying to look for parking this morning, the gym that I go to see my trainer, she's inside like a high-rise building, and it's in a pretty densely populated city area, I would say. So it gets pretty touristy in the summer, and so parking gets a little shifty. And this morning, I came a little bit early, and I'm glad I did because I couldn't find any parking at all on the street of my trainer's building. And I tried like going to all the adjacent streets, and they were all taken. So the next place I usually park, it's not in a sketcy area. Like I don't consider this area like sketchy at all. There's homeless people, but like, you know, I feel like the homeless people where I live are very nice. Okay, they're not like SF homeless people at all. They're very nice. They won't like harass you. They're just trying to live their lives. You can give them money if you want, but they're pretty chill from my experience of living here. And so I kind of parked at this sort of like an offshoot from where most people park. It's like behind. It's like the back of the building. Like, so there's like the front of the building that's on a different street, and then on another street it's the back of the building, and that's where people like either exit parking garages or construction cars will park there, or like Amazon trucks will park there. And I found parking there, so I just parked there. Whatever, it's like maybe 5 or 6 streets away from where my trainer is. And so I leave the building, I start heading towards where I parked, because if you connect Google Maps to your car AirPlay, there's like car AirPlay. It'll like, the map on your phone will show up on the console of your car. And so if you do that and you park your car, Google Maps will be able to pin where you parked. And so I was just navigating back to where I parked, and I started walking, and I had to have been maybe like 2 streets away from the building, and I noticed that someone was trying to get my attention, and I didn't look up. I just kept going, and all I did was sort of like look behind me and look in front of me and see and wonder like, maybe it's someone else trying to grab my attention. Maybe there's someone else on the street that they're trying to like get their attention from. No, I'm the only person on the street, and it's this man in, I have to say, I would say late 40s, just kind of cruising. He's cruising in this car, and he's got his windows rolled down, and he's shouting from the middle of the street to me and asked me if I knew where I was going. He said, "Hey, do you know where you're going?" And I just never took my eyes away from my phone. I was like just glued to my fucking phone and refused to look up, refused to like look at him, because then, you know, if I acknowledge him and he knows that I'm ignoring him, he's gonna get mad. And so I just keep walking to my car, and I pick up my pace so that maybe he'll get the clue. I'm still walking, and I get to a point where I turn the corner, and I looked at the reflection on my phone. I clicked my lock screen so that it was just black, and then I kind of like shifted it towards the street. He was doing a U-turn and started to turn onto the street that I was on. Mind you, I'm still in the area where it's the back end of buildings. It's where the trash cans are. It's where like just empty construction cars are. There's no like store building for me to turn into. It's just back end shit. And I was like, oh fuck. Okay, like I'm just gonna pick up the pace. Like I'm literally like 2 or 3 streets away from my car. It's gonna be okay. And this guy, like, you know, he keeps trying to get closer to, and I'm very hyper aware of how close he is to me, because I'm pretty hugged up against the buildings on the sidewalk. But he was like, okay, so for you to understand, let me paint a picture. So there's the street where the cars are driving. It's a one-way street, and then between the street, the car portion of the street, is a bicycle lane, and there's a parking lane. Like, so it's the parking lane is the width of a car. He was merging it past the bicycle lane and into the car parking lane, so that he was right next to the sidewalk that I was on. And he kept like basically giving me different reasons to like stop and communicate with him, and to let him try and coerce me to get, I don't know. Okay, so here's some things he said. He said, like, do you know where you're going? Can I help you find where you're headed? Where are you headed? You just have to tell me, and I'll take you right there. If you could just like give me a moment of your time, you know, I'd really love to help you find out where you're heading. Are you from around here? Like, he was just saying things like he was trying to pose everything as in like, oh, I just want to help like navigate. You look pretty lost. Like, can I help you? I just didn't engage. Okay, I didn't engage at all. I knew better than to engage. I knew better than to like humor him, or like let him know that like I don't want him to know, to guess what my demeanor is. I just need to get to my car, and I need to get somewhere where there's people. And I just am trying to like do it in a way that doesn't escalate, because if I escalate, if I tell him to like, hey, fuck off, you asshole, bro, yeah, I don't think that would end well for me. So I can't do that. I could run, but I don't know. I don't know this area that well. I don't know where the next like building is. I just know that this is like a pretty empty road, and there's no other cars. It's just me and this guy. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm cooked. I am so fucking cooked. I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked. And so I had my camera on, and I had it facing myself, and I had it turned so that I could see if he was still following me. And he was, for several blocks. And I don't know, like whenever I picture myself in like a situation like this, and this is the first time anything like this has even remotely happened to me. I've never ever been in a situation where like I've had people, you know, like catcall or just like shout stuff or like ask me questions on the street. Like, you know, that happens sometimes, but I've never had someone like follow me persistently and actually like talk to me and try to like actually reason with me to approach them or to like approach their vehicle. So I don't know, like whenever I think about this, and I love watching like crime stuff, I just think about like, oh, like if I was in this situation, I would do this, and this, and then I would beat the shit out of him. Like in that moment, I couldn't even think to like record the entire exchange, because my blood just like, it felt like it ran cold, and I was just holding my breath the whole time, unsure of like what to do, or how to like get out of it, because it was so uncomfortable, like ignoring someone who's actively having a conversation with me, and also noticing that they are slowly getting closer to my general vicinity, and why that is. And I think the scariest part was when I could hear him turn on the emergency lights, so that I was like, oh, he's gonna get out of his car. He's gonna get out of his fucking car, and I'm cooked. I'm at like insane levels of cooked if he stops his car and gets out of it. I don't know, like I just like I don't know. I don't want to think about it. It could have just been some guy. It could have just been like I rationalized this so many times. Like when anyways, like so I'm like around the corner from my car, and this is when God just decided that today was not my day to be, I don't know, on a newspaper. A car backs out from, and I didn't even know, but there was a parking garage exit. Do you guys remember when I said one side of the street was the entrance of a parking garage and then the other side of the street would be the exit? There was a parking garage and someone backed out without looking and totally cut this guy off, like just right into the street. There's no way this guy can go around because remember, it's a one-way street, and he backs out. And then now he's stuck. And I take that chance and I just fucking booked it to my car. I knew it. I knew it as soon as I flipped my camera off onto my Google Maps. I saw that my car was right around the corner. So I booked it, ran to my car, sat down, and just like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't thinking about anything. All I was thinking about as soon as I got to my car was I need to lock this car and I need to like drive somewhere not here. Because I'm scared that like, if once the car, you know, like gets out of the way, then what if he like drives by my car and like recognizes it and then like blocks me in or something? And so I leave, drive in my car, I drive a couple streets down, I park, and then I'm like, I feel like I need to report this. Like that was really weird and strange. And I don't know, the entire time I'm looking up several non-emergency lines, specifically non-emergency lines. I didn't want to like, I don't know. I don't want to like clog 911. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's kind of weird that maybe this guy was just like soliciting. Maybe he, at some point, I truly was thinking like, what if he thought I was a hooker? Like, and like, it is such a stupid fucking thought to like wonder like, what am I dressed as? It doesn't matter what I was dressed as, okay? But I really fucking thought about it because the alternative reason is even worse than the thought of mistaken identity. And I was like, well, there's no way. I'm just dressed to like go to the gym. I woke up at fucking 11 a.m. today. I don't look anything like a hooker. Like, I just look like a college student going to the gym. And so I called multiple numbers and I don't think they were correct. Maybe they're just different in each state. I don't know. I've never called non-emergency before. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just call 911 and I'll ask them for the non-emergency line. And so I call 911 and the dispatcher picks up and she asks, you know, what's my emergency? And I just tell her like, hi, like, do you know what the non-emergency line is? You know, I just want to report some suspicious behavior, but I'm not sure if it's an emergency or not. And she was like, well, why don't you tell me what's going on? And I told her, so I was walking towards my car and it was parked a bit of a ways away, and there was a tan vehicle with a man in his late 40s, and he was trying to say things and basically like coerce me into approaching his car or to like get in his car under the guise of wanting to give me directions. And he just really wanted for me to get in his car to take me to the right destination. If I could just like tell him, you know, like where I was headed, he could clue me in, you know. And yeah, so I tell her that, and she's like, well, honey, I don't think that sounds like a non-emergency at all. That sounds like someone trying to like get you into what could be a pretty dangerous situation. And like I don't fucking know, chat. Like I don't know why I was downplaying the experience so bad the way I was. Like, I just didn't want to be a bother. Like, I didn't want to... Okay, it sounds so fucking stupid when I say it out loud, but, like, genuinely, I just thought, like... okay, this could have been so many different things. This could have been just like some guy, like maybe he's just, you know, unwell, and maybe I just really looked confused, headed to my car, and but like that dispatcher was not having it, and bless her heart for really like nailing that into my head, because I was really downplaying it, and I don't really know why. It was like some kind of, I don't know. It was so, I don't know. I don't know why I was downplaying it, bro. I really don't. So I was telling her as like many details as I possibly could. I told her what the crossroads I was on was, and I told her that this is a one-way street, and so there's only really one direction he could go towards right now. I was like really just taken aback by, you know, like I feel like the whole, from the point in which the car started following me up until I got into my car, it had to have been less than 10 minutes. But like when I was in there, and like, bro, it felt like my car was 2 miles away and I had to travel there on foot. That's what it felt like. because I was so fucking hyper aware of how like slow he was like driving his car on a one-way street, and how he was slowly getting towards the sidewalk, and that the distinct sound of him turning on his emergency lights. I was like, this cannot be fucking happening, bro. I have a stream to go to. Surely my chat would notice if something was off, right? So, you know, I'm telling the dispatch about everything he said, what he looked like, and what his car kind of looked like, because I didn't fucking record anything, because I'm an idiot. And she asked me, you know, how old I was, because she said I sounded really young. And I told her my age, and I told her, like, you know, I'm really short, like, I'm a really short person, like, surely, you know, like, I wouldn't think people would mistaken me as anything other than an adult. But she's like, you'd be surprised how many crazy people are out there. And I was like, wow, I really did not want to think about that. I did not want to think about that at all. And so she was really nice. She told me to, you know, just get home and get home safe. And she took my name and my number. And yep. So after that, I drove home in complete silence. Like, I just, I drove home just empty-brained. I just, like, hung up the phone, put my phone on my dash, and drove home. The whole fucking half hour, just in complete silence. No music, no podcast. I just drove the fuck home. And then, like, as soon as I came home, I tweeted, because that's the first thing you should always do after a really fucked up day. And then I was like, man, Shocks, the craziest thing just happened. You wouldn't even believe it. Man, what a random thing to happen. And he's like, Al, you sound like you're like in shock, and you sound like the adrenaline probably hasn't worn off. And I was like, Grips, what are you talking about? This is just, you know, this, damn. Anyways, so yeah, that really fucking rattled me, chat. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I got home and I read everyone's replies, you guys know what I did? I bought a taser, and I bought a personal alarm, and I bought pepper spray, because I had nothing on me when I was walking to my car. I only had my phone and my wallet. I didn't have anything else. I had my keys. That's it. My keys, my phone, and my wallet. Because when I go to the gym, I don't fucking know. Like, damn, fuck me, I guess. Sorry for not fucking bringing like a tank with me. Damn. Yeah, I'm never gonna tell my dad about this though, because if I tell my dad, he's gonna be so fucking pissed. Not at me, but like, well, yeah, kind of. But it's out of frustration because he loves me. But he'd be like, move home right now. Move home right now, okay? I'm And then if you don't move home, I'm gonna book a flight and I'm gonna pack your shit and you're gonna go home. And I was like, I cannot. Yeah, that's damn. Yep. Here's some things I learned from this. Be careful where you park. Even if it's in the middle of the fucking day. Guys, it happened at 1 p.m. in the middle of the day. There's not a single cloud in the sky. But I just happened to be at like the wrong spot at the wrong time. And at the time, I just was looking for parking. Like, I just was like, I just didn't want to be late for training, so I just parked anywhere. I didn't even think about it. Because, like, I see people here all the time in this area. Like, they're walking to wherever the fuck. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. Just trying to look for fucking easy, close-ish parking. And I didn't fucking know, like, the street happened to be, like, on the back side of everything. I, like, was aware that it was where all the construction cars were at, but, like, I didn't realize how, I guess, low traffic it was. Shit. Yes, I will now be careful where I park. And, I'm glad that I just, like, did not engage in conversation. What I was really scared of what was happening is, like, me engaging in conversation and then basically having to... Not only am I physically de-escalating with my body language, I now have to de-escalate with words. And, like, if I'm scared that if I say something wrong, then I will then escalate and I won't know what to do. Yeah. When you engage with someone, you risk, like, them, I don't know, actually changing your mind and, like, trying to, like, they're talking to you right now for the sole reason of getting your guard down. So don't let them get your guard down. Just ignore them. And, oh yeah, and you could risk giving out information. Bruh. Damn. I was really lucky that the dispatcher that picked up was so nice and did not, like... I feel like so many times you meet dispatch or people that will downplay what's going on because for whatever reason, like, and it doesn't happen, I'm sure it doesn't happen that often, but you do see it, right? Like, you know, just dispatch, like, not really caring, but, like, this dispatcher was really worried for me and asked me all the right questions and, like, reassured me that I was making the right choice by, you know, like, reporting this to 911 and not to, like, a non-emergency line. I was very, very lucky